I am a really big advocate of scheduling time with the husband. Date night is a must because you have to invest in your relationship or else the relationship will fail. It's just how it is because business has the ability to tear people apart. Now, some people will say, oh, that's so silly. You should just be able to do it on demand, but not when you're being pulled in 50 million directions, which you as businesswomen and business people will be pulled in different directions. You need to schedule that time for intimacy.
Welcome back to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast with daily on-the-go episodes packed with testimonies and business tips to help you create financial freedom through entrepreneurship. Hosted by the owner of Fracassi Lashes and the Blow Dry Lounge, the Beauty Boss Millionaire herself, Falicia Fracassi.
Hey there, and welcome back to Beauty Boss Millionaire. I'm your host, Falicia Fracassi, and the objective of today's episode is really just to focus on being a mother and being in a relationship and running a business. I want to specifically talk about this because it's something that we don't talk enough about. Now, if you would just give us a review to get us up on the charts, we're doing a contest for giving away free t-shirts, so please make sure you review this episode. Just hit the like button. It takes literally a second just to say that you like the episode. It helps us get up in the rankings and the algorithms. It really, really helps us out a lot. So, all right, you're running your business. You've got different levels, layers of things going on. You've got your business relationship. You've got your husband or boyfriend. And then you've got the kids. And a lot of times this can really be confusing for a lot of people that are trying to balance it all. Or if we're not going to use the word balance. We're going to say juggling it all, because there's never a healthy balance. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you. It's just always something you have to constantly monitor to make sure that the kids are happy, the husband's happy, and that your business is obviously happy and the employees. I am the perfect person to talk to about this because I have been there. I have been the mom that has been to the extreme where I was just solely focusing on one thing, the business. And then I said, you know what, as soon as you catch yourself, you say, all right, let me rebalance everything out. And so I was solely focusing on the children. Some women solely focus only on the children, the business suffers. And then you have the person that's solely focusing on the business and the children and not the husband, and the marriage suffers. So I want to take a moment just to explain why you should pay attention to these things and the signs and how you can get through it successfully. The first thing that I want to say is that you are so important to you. You have no idea. I always say women are so strong. You know, I love a family dynamic with a man there helping out the woman, whoever, or whatever type of relationship that you're in. I love seeing two people work together and making it work, because nowadays it seems like marriage is non-existent or relationships don't last long. So when I see two people really trying to make it work, it really makes me happy to see that type of relationship, because there's going to be a day where everyone's out for themselves. And I see so many people struggle with this juggling act or this balancing act, if you will. And unfortunately, something is not being tended to. So earlier I was talking about your business, how to make sure that's being ran successfully and you're still being a mother. And then you've got the wifely duties, which are very important nowadays, because I'm telling you, these thotties, they're out there. They're out there seeking whom they may devour, who they can attack. And I'm joking around saying that, but there's women that literally are, they just looking for a fun time with your man. And nowadays sex is on TV, sex is everywhere. It's to the point where it's in your face now. So on average, men reportedly think about sex 19 times a day, while women think about it probably about 10 times a day. So they're times two. That's their hormone balance. That's how they are. So they're thinking that they might think of, they're just thinking about it more than you are. You may not be totally thinking about it at all because you've got so much going on. You've got the kids, the school, the balance. If you're a young mom, it's even more difficult sometimes because you're tending to so many emotional needs for the children. But I want to take a moment to focus on the relationship. I am a really big advocate of scheduling time with the husband. Date night is a must. Even if you don't have anywhere to go, even if you don't have nothing to do, even if you just go out and eat together, that's your date night. Schedule those vacations. I will not stress it enough. Even if you don't have a huge budget, make a budget for vacation and peace with the two of y'all, just the two of y'all. I know some people are saying, how can I stretch it? How can I make it work? Nope. You're going to find out how to make it work, because you have to invest in your relationship or else the relationship will fail. It's just how it is, because business has the ability to tear people apart because your focus has changed. The whole family is shifting. Everyone's feeling like they're not being tended to. People are looking at you, mommy, how come you're not here as much? How come you're not paying attention to me? How come? I've been here before. I've done it before. Trust me when I tell you, me and my husband, we schedule a vacation probably about every 8 weeks. Now, since the pandemic, we haven't gone as much because, there's nothing to do. We were all kind of shut down. But before that, we would actually schedule vacations. And I never thought I'd be that woman to schedule in advance vacations months and months out. But now I have them scheduled out even a year sometimes, just so I can have that moment to relax. Like I can literally predict, okay, around Thanksgiving time, the family's going to be feeling to kind of burn out, school, I can go ahead and take a vacation. If I plan ahead, I can get those tickets for really, really cheap, and I can just save up my money for that special time with all of us. So to make this work, one, you're going to have a lot of planning date nights, and then two, planning family vacation time together so the family can bond. Make sure you choose a venue that is very family friendly. It could be like a water park, or it could be just a fun time with the kids. And it could even be like a vacation to Disney or wherever. If that's too expensive, you could just do something smaller, but just that family time together. You can even plan around what's locally in your area. It doesn't have to be some extravagant trip where you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to get to where you're trying to go. But I really want to take a moment to really stress how it's so important that you have that time with the family separately and then with the husband exclusively. I mean, everyone was going off on, I can't remember if it was Tia or Tamara. I'll look it up right now. Let me see who it was. All right. So it's Tia Mowry, who is married to Corey. Now, they decided to schedule off their love life and make time for each other. A lot of people judged them for this. They didn't understand it, but they're both in the industry. They're very busy. She schedules sex and intimacy with her husband. I respect her for that, because to the average woman, that sounds weird because you're not a businesswoman. This is a woman who is in the show business. She's busy. She's a businesswoman. This woman is a businesswoman that is always on TV. She's running around to engagements, events. Her lifestyle is very different. So for her to make it work for her and Corey, she is scheduling time together. And I respect her for it, because you have to put that in there. Now, some people will say, oh, that's so silly. You should just be able to do it on demand. But not when you're being pulled in 50 million directions, which you as businesswomen and business people will be pulled in different directions. You need to schedule that time for intimacy. You need to schedule that time. You don't have to make it sound so dragged out, say schedule time, but you need to make that time. I think what she really meant maybe was just making time for just her and him time intimately and blocking off her calendar. If not, I'm nowhere as busy as a Tia and Tamara. And with me, I remember from the time I wake up to the time that I go to bed, I'm being pulled in so many different directions. And if I don't block off time with my husband or my family, especially that intimate time, and yes, it may have sounded weird because you're scheduling time off with your husband, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that she thought and put him in the schedule, because when you're married, sometimes things just kind of go whichever way they go. And it can be very, very difficult. And a lot of times the husband suffers and he's looking at porn more. And now he's taking it to other levels, and he's doing things he really shouldn't have to venture off outside the bedroom for. And I know it sounds silly. You probably say, well, we're together. There's no need for that. But the reality is that this definitely happens. It's how marriages fall apart. It's how marriages can go down the drain, because you got to keep it spicy. You have to keep your relationship spicy, just like you keep the business spicy. The same way you're putting all the energy into the business and your brand, you need to put that energy and emotional energy into the husband or the wife or whoever it is that your partner, because that is the whole reason why you're doing all this. So y'all can be happy, so that you two can have a better life. You two can spend more time together. Sometimes you'll see men where they're so driven, or even women where they're so driven, and they think about nothing else but making money, and it affects the relationship in the long term. So there needs to be a healthy balance. Relationships and intimacy are so important. Yes, the children are important too, but just remember the husband and his needs and your needs are important. And you don't want to find yourself in a position where you're not happy, your partner isn't happy, and you end up losing everything. In worst case, you end up not being together, because that's not what this is all about. You want to stay together, being able to grow together and build together. So take that time up for date night, schedule those vacations alone, and then you can schedule a family vacation as well. But please make sure you at least do this, and you owe yourself that. as a leader, as a woman, as an entrepreneur. You have to allow that time. I hope all this has helped, and thanks for tuning in to Beauty Boss Millionaire. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
That's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast. And don't forget to follow the Beauty Boss Millionaire, Falicia Fracassi, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Beauty Boss Millionaire.
Also, if these are really helpful, please review, rate, and share, or just send the link to someone who may need this. See you tomorrow.